Well, hello everyone and welcome to the second game of the Pro League 6 tournament. Today will be the start of Group B. It is week 1 Group B, so the second teams are going to line up. On the left hand side on your screen right now is going to be Team Holy. And on the right hand side, as you can see, is Team Mderg. Both of them are actually scheduled to play this week. As you can see, the third match is going to be the two team leads. So that is going to be a very interesting matchup nonetheless, but that also can easily tell you which team is going to play. We're going to see if Team Holy or Team Mderg can actually take the fight to the Fellowship when it comes to the start of the week. The Fellowship going to pull away, at least for now. But if WeirdRat or Slammer can take the 2-0 victory, then it's going to be all up tight at the front once again. So without any further ado, let's get into the first game of Group B, shall we? And here we are. The first map of the series between these two players is going to be on Xenos. And first of all, let's start by introducing them. On the bottom left hand side on Xenos, starting with a fortress, right, it is SlammerIV with the red pieces. I have not seen a fortress start yet, so I assume that this is going to be some kind of dragon cheese, which is going to be very interesting. Slammer, I don't know if he's relatively up and coming, but he definitely has some skill to get checked by the player in the top right hand side with the blue pieces, Mr. WeirdRat. WeirdRat being an older Littlewargame player, and by older I don't mean age, but I mean the time played. Because if I remember correctly, WeirdRat is one of the relative OGs, so he might know about the dragon cheese, or at least how to defend from it, but obviously he has absolutely no idea that it's coming. And indeed, a worker is moving out, and what is he going to build? It is going to be nothing just yet because of the fortress still needing to be finished. It is, not surprisingly, a dragon lair. It is a relatively safe position as well, and not putting it near a possible third for WeirdRat. Keeping it a little bit more open for himself, but still has a surprise factor. WeirdRat over here, going for a barracks opening, getting his raiders ready. Not entirely sure if they practiced against each other or if they know of each other's playstyles. Having that said, I haven't seen a Dragon Lair cheese before, a Dragon Lair proxy, so I highly doubt that it is a common strategy. But nonetheless, very interesting to see. He is getting a watchtower at his main base as well to obviously have some defense at home, as the first raider is moving out. Second raider in production, nothing that shoots up just yet, no watchtower or anything just yet. It seems like WeirdRat is going to get himself a natural base. It's going to take a little while before the first dragon enters the fray, and I have a feeling that WeirdRat is going to scout it relatively quickly because he does not see anything over here. And let's also check what he will see. He has his camera focused on the main base and he sees the fortress, he sees the watchtower, and he knows exactly what is going to happen. Gets an archer, as he thankfully already had on the way. but he's getting a watchtower in his main base. A second dragon is already queued up. The first one is going to exit exactly as we speak. First archer on the way. Watchtower is being constructed at the main. It's almost halfway done. The raiders obviously cannot really do anything in this fight, so they are just going to scout around trying to find anything and also trying to find the dragon den. But I have a feeling that WeirdRat now knows where it is and where he can go and check. One archer, I assume, is not going to be enough to take down an entire dragon. Definitely deals a big chunk of damage though. As, Jesus Christ, one archer takes down half a dragon. Watchtower, however, almost going to be finished at his natural main base. Watchtower is completed. Second dragon is going to enter the fight. This is going to make life a lot harder for a player in a blue, but I assume that the watchtowers are going to be completed nonetheless. He is not focusing down the worker that is actually constructing the watchtower. And as it finishes, it will easily pull or push back the two dragons here. WeirdRat keeping one raider at the opponent's base. Always nice to keep an eye on what he is doing. Third dragon, however, starting to join the other two. Watchtowers definitely doing their job. But this dragon being out of range of the watchtower here and in range to take down the advanced workshop is a very nice thing to see. These two dragons are flying back, probably to try and find some of the raiders, maybe take those down while he's at it. But it's not looking that good so far. Dragons do slowly regenerate health, as they are some good, healthy beast units, but it's still not the best position to be in. Two dragons in very low health, and some free damage being done when it comes to this watchtower, just shooting away. Not the best positioning from Slammer. Not necessarily the best decision making. One dragon flies back to take down some of the raiders and heal in the process, but if my scroll wheel would stop zooming in, that would be nice. But yeah, this is not nice to see. Three archers going to take down at least one dragon, I assume. And we are going to continue to hit. The other dragon is going to take him down relatively easily. And yeah, it doesn't seem like it's working the way Slammer wanted it to. Advanced workshop is completed. The first ballista has been constructed. Another dragon goes down for absolutely no reason. It's not looking good. It is not looking good. Economy for a player in the blue, WeirdRat, is 50% higher, starting to slowly outmine Slammer. The raider might just die, barely just does not die. Watchtower going to shoot him down, 3 archers in there as well. Can easily push back those dragons. One dragon healing while trying to protect the natural base, but he is way behind. Having that said, economy is not that far of that much of an advantage for WeirdRat, but he definitely has 2 base, definitely has more efficient mining, and he can obviously make 2 workers at a time, which he is doing, as you can see. Ballista has been completed. Airship is going to be completed relatively quickly as well. After the airship, the explosive ballista shot, I believe it's the dynamite shot, not entirely sure, will be added as well, so the ballistas that he will get are going to be of a great nuisance to Slammer's dragons. He is slowly continuing to make some dragons. He has 6 in total now, I believe, but here is the airship with 1 ballista trying to hunt them down. Will drop it, gets 1 shot off. The explosive shot is not yet completed. The shots that are done on the ballistas, though, as he picks them up into the airship, are not actually dealing damage to the ballista, so those are wasted shots from the dragons, which was some very nice micro from a player in the blue. Explosive shot. 1 second away. These ballistas are now just that much more difficult to deal with. Slammer is getting a wolf den together with one that he made just before. But is it going to be enough? It's definitely going to be a great addition before the dragons, trying to hunt down some of the archers and maybe focus down some of the ballistas as well. Yeah, here we go. One ballista. Does it manage to take down one of the shots? Yes, it does. Explosive shot does get cast. Yeah, another watchtower is going to be constructed at the third. Watchtower is going to be constructed before the third is going to be, because he wants to secure the location before trying to waste money on a castle that can relatively easily be taken down again. Raider, however, does not outspeed or outrun the dragons quite yet, but with the blinks can definitely get a little bit of a gap going. But he sees that there is no third base, at least on the bottom. Sees that there are some wolves being produced, and I think that that is enough for a player in the blue to know what he's going to do afterwards. He's getting some soldiers. Of course, they cannot attack the dragons, but he can foresee the wolves coming already. Having pure dragons versus just the ballistas is a death sentence for a player in the red anyway. Archers dealing a little bit more damage. It's not going to be enough just yet, but these dragons are severely hindered or handicapped in their maneuverability. If we look at the army, so far they are not that huge. 8 wolves or 9 wolves for a slammer are definitely a nice addition, but yeah, once again, these 9 wolves are not going to be a match versus these 4 archers and 3 soldiers. Because the 3 ballistas are going to take down all of these dragons with relative ease, especially if they are clumped up. But it is going to be interesting nonetheless. 1 ballista stays at the gold mine, which is a nice thing to see. Ballistas will be dropped. Will they get some shots off at the dragons? So far, yes. Some explosive shots get shot as well. Dragons are taken down very quickly. The watchtower is dealing plenty of additional damage. Is he going to be able to catch up with these dragons? A lot of them are now on very low health. Is he going to take down one? Another explosive shot goes down. They are all very low. These dragons are pretty much written out for death. Not a good thing for a player in the red. Another explosive shot dealing some damage to these 2 dragons over here is getting himself a 4th as well. Very nice to see, trying to ramp up in the economy. So far they are relatively equal. It's not very nice to see. Some wolves are going to take down this worker. Very nice placement though from WeirdRat. Slammer cannot get a wraparound on that one worker. But I believe that the watchtower is going to be taken down. And yes, indeed, it is getting cancelled just in time. But there's still some pressure on to WeirdRat. Is it going to last long though? I highly doubt it. Because WeirdRat is 500 or almost 600 gold ahead in mined gold, and also 145 ahead when it comes to the total losses that he has endured. It's not really looking good for Slammer. He is, I think, going to also get his own 4th, trying to keep that up and running. As over here, the dragons once again try to deal some damage. There is, however, still a ballista. Some explosive shots go down. A lot more damage has been dealt together with a watchtower. Just not something you want to engage in with the dragons, because you just do not have enough to just take it down and be confident like that. The dragons, however, are continuously being produced. Does WeirdRat know that the den is there? Yes, he does. Actually kind of curious why he's not going to try and take it down, as he does have the ballistas as a defense for the dragons. But having that said, it seems like some more dragons have been taken down by the ballistas here, or have they just split up? No, more dragons have been going down. 7 in total. already destroyed. So yeah, that does greatly impact the gold lost here. 600 gold, as a minute or two ago it was just 145. That is not a good thing to see. These ballistas paying dividends, and massively at that. He finally is going to start to take down the dragon lair, and over here as well some more fiery shots are going to be shot at the dragons. More ballistas being dropped and dealing shots, dropped and dealing shots, slowly and slowly but steadily taking them down. Dragon lair being destroyed as well. This house is being found as well and going to be destroyed relatively quickly. 2 more ballistas going to be dropped, not in the right position. Wanted to drop them on the high ground to focus on the dragons. Not the best decision making, kind of a little bit of a hesitation from a player in the blue. Some nice shots taken down on this dragon though. Is it going to be taken down? It needs to bring back the airship, needs to repair it and get it up to code. 1 forge has been made, 2nd forge on the way. Armor upgrade is getting in there, which will be a great addition to all of these soldiers. Soldiers already tanky, 220 health and have 1 armor. As where archers have 160 health and no armor. Getting the armor upgrades while having a total of 13 soldiers and counting will be in a great advantageous position for WeirdRat when it comes to dealing with all of the wolves and snakes that Slammer is getting right now. There is no more dragon lair, so there is also no more ballista production. 3 ballistas are relative dead weight at this point, but still a very nice defensive tool. Of course, 4 archers can also deal quite some damage to the dragons. So the need for ballistas is going down relatively quickly. WeirdRat getting himself a 5th base, trying to get an even more advantageous position when it comes to the economy. These soldiers don't have an armor upgrade just yet. They're trying to get an harassment in, but it's not really going to do anything. No focus fire leaves a lot of these wolves on low health and able to regenerate. It's not the best move out from WeirdRat, but still a nice distraction. Does at least get the information that there is a base over there. So it is a 4 versus 5 base so far. As you can see, 2 forges, 2 armor upgrades. Once again, very nice to emphasize that you can get armor upgrades at the same time. As the first armor upgrade has started, you can start the 2nd upgrade, which saves 90 seconds at most for the upgrades. So any time you can combine them is obviously a great advantage for you. If, like WeirdRat, you want to get more and more armor upgrades at the same time. This army from Slammer, though, is doing some nice damage. He is, however, getting pushed back. But it's nice to keep WeirdRat busy. Don't let him get into too much of a comfort zone. But yeah, over here, as you can see, the 3rd armor upgrade has already been going for 20 seconds, while the 2nd armor upgrade still has just about 40 left to go. So that saved so far 28, 29, 20, 30 seconds, in addition to the time needed to complete that upgrade as well, the 2nd one. So just so much time being saved. Having that said though, Slammer did get himself an animal testing lab. His 1 attack upgrade is going to be finished relatively shortly. But 1 attack upgrade versus 2 armor upgrades is not the biggest deal. The attack upgrades being on snakes though is very nice, but when it comes to his army, I'm not entirely sure if that will help. Slammer is on maximum supply though. Or at least was there before some of the army got destroyed. WeirdRat moving in, has 2 armor upgrades. These soldiers, as you can see, they are tanking just so much damage from the snakes. Snakes with 1 attack upgrade deal 8 damage, however with 3 armor, I believe that comes out to 5 damage in total. So 1 shot of a snake is 5 damage. One soldier having 220 health, I believe, is 44 attacks from a single snake to take down one soldier. Obviously there are more snakes, but if you look at it, it's still way too many shots to deal any efficient damage. Having that said though, dragons with attack upgrades are very nice, even though it does not have that many dragons anymore. Did not get a replacement dragon den, and it might not actually be the best position to be in over here. Just run your dragons into 2 watchtowers. It's a very good way to just get rid of your dragons. In addition to the ballista ship entering the fight here. But yeah, it's not a great position to be in. The armies also being split up into, not very good. WeirdRat trying to just keep on pushing, going to take down the attempted 5th of Slammer, while on the other side his army is being pushed back as well. Slammer moving all of his army back to the south, knows that the pressure is on there, but does not want to lose all of his dragons, which I assume he just did. Yes, he did. Is now, however, deciding to get 2 more dragon layers in. I don't know if that is the best decision right now. Some dragons might be nice, but I assume that the transition should have happened earlier. Having that said though, a lot of watchtowers at this 5th. Is it going to be a good place to enter this battle? I don't think so. All of these units are going to be chased back into his field, but is he going to surround his entire army? Is WeirdRat here going to be outmaneuvered and outmicroed by the player in the red? It's going to be a nice opportunity for a surround. The wolves being in the back, being blocked by the snakes is not very nice, but this should be able to be taken down completely. However, WeirdRat also being on a plenty enough of supply is going to lose his entire army in the bottom, but he will manage to get a counter-attack in on the other side of the field. He has 3 defense upgrades, or armor upgrades, gets a 4th in relatively quickly, as his 6th base is getting attacked by some snakes. 4th armor upgrade kicking in relatively shortly, also is getting his attack upgrade now as well. In the meantime, 2 attack upgrades have finished for Slammer, and is getting a 3rd attack upgrade and an armor upgrade himself. So the upgrade war has completely and utterly started. It has opened. Over here, WeirdRat trying to take care of the harassment of Slammer. Slowly and steadily tries to get something down. Re-attempts to take his 6th base. But over here, Slammer trying to be very sneaky. Trying to get his own 7th up and running, as his 6th is also on the other side of the corner. A very nice move from Slammer. I thought it would be in a great disadvantage, but so far it doesn't seem like he is that far behind, as he has turned the gold lost into his favor by just 200 gold. He is still 1000 gold behind in total, but I mean, if he can keep this pressure up, he might actually have a decent chance. Maybe he wants to open up some of the routes, take down some of these forges in the middle, have some quicker engagement routes. As the 6th in the top left hand corner, WeirdRat was trying to look in taking it down. But yeah, as you can see over here, Slammer taking down some of the neutral buildings, trying to get some more maneuverability in. And this is going to be an interesting situation. He has 1 army over here, 1 army on the south. Is going to move it all towards the 6th though. I would have loved to see him actually move it into the 4th and into the 6th, which he is going to do now. But a lot of archers are ready to pounce on this army. Is he going to enclose himself? It's not a nice move, really. This ballista is probably going to be taken down. No dragons, however, are in the army composition of a player in the red, but this is a very nice engagement so far. It is a 4-1 versus 3-1 army. 4-2 on the way, and the 5th armor upgrade on the way for a player in the blue. He himself, though, is going to get cornered. He does have a way out, but the way out would probably reveal his 7th base. Is it going to be enough? All of the archers over here are enclosing onto this army, and I feel like he is going to lose this 7th base, because this section of the army is going to cut it off on the left. This army will now see that there is indeed a base here, which apparently he saw before, which I did not notice. But yes, this army is definitely going to be taken down. Having that said though, more and more wolves and snakes are being sent from the side of Slammer. I feel like he might need to stop sending the reinforcements, as these archers are scary. He might be able to deal with it, but definitely needs to let the 7th base go. Maybe let these watchtowers go as well. And this is a very tight situation. Castle definitely goes down. One watchtower being attacked, but I feel like these archers can just take it down way too easily. It's a mistake letting those finish. The archers over here get finished. Some of the workers are going down as well. 17 workers destroyed in total. And this army is going to get pushed back as well. But in the meantime, there is absolutely nothing happening. On Slammer's side of the field is now starting to get some more dragons into the fray, and with the upgrades that he has, the 3-1 upgrades, the dragons are a lot scarier as well. With still 2 ballistas on the field for WeirdRat, but those ballistas do not have any upgrades. So it's not the best position for those ballistas to be in. They are not going to be able to deal with the dragons as good as they were able to do before. This is starting to look like a tough position for WeirdRat to be in. He was, I wanted to say, in a better position earlier in the game, but he left Slammer on his own, ready to just continue to amass his bases, continue to amass his army, because it's 150 supply versus 120. And I feel like WeirdRat should maybe switch to some mechanical units. Maybe get some catapults in his unit composition as well. Even though he does have the great upgrades that he has, 5 armor upgrades and 1 attack upgrade. I would love to see him get 2 more attack upgrades going as we speak, or maybe again get some catapults and get some mech upgrades as well. This army nonetheless is very scary for Slammer to engage, but having that said, this army is not as mobile as the army of Slammer. As you can see, he has 2 spots that he can attack, and maybe a 3rd one as well, but the dragons up north here, but the ballistas are going to be able to push it back quickly. This army being taken down, this army needs to be careful. It does not want to be caught off guard. He needs to move out, because I don't think that this is a great engagement. It's just throwing away some of his army now. It's not really that good to see. Yeah, I needed to pull back way earlier. But this is nice though. Not letting the dragons attack there, making the move towards the 4th. The 5th is going to be attacked by just ground units, so these ballistas are absolutely useless. And none of these workers are actually mining, which is not good for WeirdRat. His economy is now in shambles. The gold lost is relatively close, and also the mined gold is now relatively close as well. It is a pretty even game so far, but the economy, 1600 gold versus 900 for WeirdRat is not what you like to see. Over here as well, this base is once again going to be taken down, but also on the other side, WeirdRat with the counter engage. Is this going to turn into some kind of base trade? I highly doubt it so far, because WeirdRat has managed to push back and take down the army. Also, completely forgot to mention the Mage Guild that WeirdRat has gotten. I did see it in the production screen. As you can see over here, he did get himself the fireballs, is getting himself a few mages as well to try and deal some more area of effect damage to the entire army of Slammer. Over here would have been a nice way to get a fireball going. It deals a little bit of damage there. You can obviously also slow down the army with some slowing fields to get some more damage with his main army, and of course If Slammer cannot move that quickly, he can also deal more damage with the fireballs themselves. Ballistas, though, are still in decomposition. Dragons still not be able to do a lot to watchtowers. Very good at defending things. But WeirdRat is pushing out. WeirdRat has had enough. He knows that this is what he needs to do. His economy in shambles. This is the army that he has. If this goes down, everything goes down. His natural mine out, his first mine out, his third is getting close. And once again the workers are not mining at his fifth. Counterattack once again from Slammer. But the fourth going to be taken down from Slammer as well. Watchtower going down, workers and castle over here are going to be taken down as well. Some reinforcements getting sniped from Slammer, but is that what he needs to focus on? I highly doubt it. Because, once again, Slammer, his economy is booming. He can afford to lose all of these units. He has 600 gold in the bank and continuing to mine more and more and more. Some nice counterattacks from Slammer over here. The entire army from WeirdRat needs to move all the way back, and it's so slow. Some more soldiers going to try and take down the fifth. But is it going to be enough? I highly doubt it. This army, though, is very big. It can really easily take down this entire beast army. But once again, there is just more production from our player in the red. He has a 4-2 upgrades and his 5th attack upgrade on the way. WeirdRat with 3 and 5. 3 attack and 5 armor upgrades. His upgrades are not a problem, but I think his army composition is not the best. The soldiers over here are going to be taken down by the entire section of Slammer's army. And once again, Slammer is just containing WeirdRat so very nicely. Did definitely take some economy hit, but as you can see, a lot of workers are transferred back to his 5th base location. There's still 4,000 gold left to be mined over there, while WeirdRat is just mining on 2 bases. This base does not have any workers on it, and the other 2 are completely mined out. There is just no economy for him. And it's just so tough. He's 3,000 gold ahead, but 2,500 gold behind when it comes to the gold lost. So he's 500 gold ahead in total gold count. And yeah, as you can see over here, slowing field, some fireballs deal some damage, but the damage from the fireballs didn't actually deal that much because of all of the armor upgrades of the wolves. This is just very tough to see. I feel like Slammer just has this in a bag. More economic damage has been dealt, while he himself is just continuously mining more and more and more. And slowly keeping some kind of bank as well. Staying close to being maximum supply, 150 versus 100. It's just 50% more supply, and that is no joke. Another section of army is just waiting here to pounce. Another base has been built. Another base has been built. Just containing WeirdRat all over the place. Another counterattack trying to happen over here, but once again, this army is not mobile. As soon as he leaves the entire other side of the field open for counterattacks like this from Slammer. Moving the army that was there away is also not a good move. But once again, I feel like if WeirdRat would have just gained some catapults, this would be a completely different match. Just having some catapults at some bases, trying to take down all of the units, would have been a great addition. Even if it's just for some zoning capabilities. He also already has an airship. I believe he still has one. No, he does not have one anymore. But he could get some catapults and some airships and try and deal some economic damage for Slammer over here with all of these worker lines and actually try and take down some of the advantage that he has. As you can see, WeirdRat is still going to try and bring up his economy by making 4 workers at the same time. I don't think that the workers is necessarily what he needs to focus on, even though his total worker count is 17 versus the 34 of Slammer. But this is his real problem. And I think that this is going to be the final engagement. A full surround on all of the soldiers, some fireballs deal some very nice damage. I think this might be the final push if he just continues with this attack. Because once again, not a lot of gold is remaining. This base is almost mined out, this is almost mined out, and this still has 1800 gold remaining, but there is already 10 workers mining there, so there's not really that much more that he can do on that gold mine either. He does have a bird, but does not scout with it, because I don't think he wants to know how devastating the position of Slammer actually is. Trying to see where the army is, does manage to find it. This ballista, though, is going to be taken down for no reason. There are still 4 dragons, my man. You do not want to let the ballista die for nothing. In the meantime, once again, another attack on the top left-hand side, while this army is being engaged as well. If he just A-moves into it, he might get a decent surround over here, but it's not where his focus is. His focus is on the main gold mining facility from WeirdRat. It would be so nice to see him move this army in, and he does now. He is going to take down some more of these neutral buildings, getting himself some more open paths. Dragons could be dealing more damage, but they are just waiting there, AFK, not being A-moved in. 5 workers at the same time being produced for WeirdRat. But you might be making workers, but your entire base is being destroyed, my dude. I don't think that workers right now are the thing that you are going to need. You need to defend for whatever you are worth. It's just a slow picking. I feel like this army attacking the bottom here, this army sneaking in from the other side, the dragons going to take care of this and maybe actually take down a watchtower, which he took down his own watchtower to free his ballista. Maybe a good idea to take down the dragons here, but obviously you lose a watchtower. But yeah, once again, a triple front attack. House is being destroyed. This army is being distracted. He is going to attempt to attack here as well, but nothing so far. But the army of Slammer in the natural base is going to wreak some havoc. I feel like he should focus some more on the barracks to even take down any attempt that WeirdRat has to even try and produce some army with the small economy that he still has. But yeah, this is still just too much for him to deal with. Almost still on full on a full supply. Nothing that he can do. Upgrade advantage is for a player in the red. I want to say more attack upgrades with a more area of effect or a more surrounding unit composition will deal much more damage. WeirdRat trying to take down this base in the corner over here. Is it going to be enough? I highly doubt it. These workers, just let them attack. Don't let them hold position. Try and make them deal damage to this army. And distract all of the other army over here. It could be a nice move. Might not be the right move, but you might as well use the workers. Either continue to mine or actually attack with them, because you are making so many of them while you do not have any mining bases that you might as well use them. He only has 1 base in total that can mine, and he has 29 workers to mine with. So this gold mine is going to be extracted relatively quickly. Slammer knows that this is the only mine that he is mining for, or the only base that he's mining from, so he's going to take this down relatively easy. Base in the top right, or the bottom right hand side has been taken down, and WeirdRat finally GG's out as he knows that there is nothing else that he can do. Slammer just with a slow and steady bashing into the front door of WeirdRat takes down what I want to say is not necessarily an upset, but you know, WeirdRat is a very strong player, so it was kind of close, but yeah, I don't know. In the beginning, I thought WeirdRat would have had it, and after that, Slammer just took complete ownership of the entirety of the game. So, Slammer takes the 1-0 lead, taking the lead in at least this series for Team Amderg. But it's curious to see if Slammer can actually close it out and get himself a clean sweep and put Team Amderg on the same point score as the Fellowship, and get them tied at a first place and leave Team Holy and Team Bro League tied on 0 as well. Or if WeirdRat can actually manage to do it and get the first reverse sweep of this tournament and make it a little bit more of a spread out field. It's enough talking about the possibilities. Let's actually get into the games and see what will happen. And the second game is going to be on Little Ohana. And in game number 2 with Little Ohana, with his back against Slammer's wall, with the red pieces in the 12 o'clock position, it is WeirdRat. And enjoying his 1-0 lead doesn't mean he can take it easy, but definitely means that he can have a little bit of a breather. With the blue pieces in the 9 o'clock position, it is Slammer 4. Now, this is interesting. It is at least going to be a little bit more of a normal game, as both of these players are just going to build the houses at their natural. It is an interesting position though, Slammer choosing to block off the ramp just a little bit more, as WeirdRat is trying to get a better SimCity going around the natural gold mine, as he uses the barracks in order to do what Slammer is trying to do with just his house. And okay, this is an interesting thing to do. Slammer is going full on defense, because he is blocking himself in with this move and rallying his barracks inside of his base. So WeirdRat either has to take down his buildings or try and go through the neutral buildings on the left hand side here, or get an airship or anything in order to take down the wall that Slammer has put up. It's going to be interesting to see what Slammer is going to do with this positioning though. I haven't seen too many players actually walling themselves in completely so far, as his first unit is going to be an archer. It's a relative obvious choice, as obviously archers can hit from a distance, and if anything is hitting these buildings, archers can actually shoot back, where soldiers are just a dead weight and a dead piece of supply. But first, Raider is going to be on the move for a player in the red. And it's going to be curious where the Raider is going to go, because it was rallied to go to this main base, and I think that WeirdRat already knows what's happening. Because of the pathing, it is probably going to try and go over here, or maybe over here. I assume over here, to try and get to this position, as the Raider apparently already knows that there is a complete wall-off at Slammer's base. But not that Raiders care about the wall-off, because if he has vision, he can actually dash on top of this ramp. Actually, I doubt that he even needs vision, because I think he flashed from below here, so that is a interesting thing to keep in mind. This Raider is, however, slowly going to die. The second archer is going to pop out, but he does manage to get himself a singular kill, and he does manage to actually flash him. Oh, actually, I wanted to say flash himself out, but so far he actually flashed in. A very aggressive move, one Raider. is on 14 health, did not manage to take down an additional worker, but still a 1 worker advantage for a player in the blue, or a player in the red, sorry, when it comes to the total amount. Actually decreased his deficit a little bit because he was 1 worker behind. But yeah, this is interesting. Second base of WeirdRat is done a little bit faster than the one of Slammer, but economy-wise they should be on equal footing, as these workers will start to mine at the natural. This number will take up greatly. 1 raider being pushed away by the archers here. Very nice positioning from Slammer. So far, keeping archers at every point that a raider could flash in. I'm going to be curious what WeirdRat's response to this was going to be, as he sees that Slammer obviously is going into a defensive position and is now getting himself a workshop, which I believe he might get some catapults and do some catapult drops. I assume that that's what he is going to do. Definitely wants to get an advanced workshop, which I believe he's going to build right here to get himself some airships to get out of his own base. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation. WeirdRat with his 3rd base almost being completed is going to send out some of his workers to mine at a 3rd and get himself a very nice economic lead. This is going to be curious. Slammer blocking off this area as well with a house. Very nice SimCity positioning over here. Not leaving WeirdRat with a lot of options to get into the base. But is it going to pay out for him? Because as you can see, WeirdRat with his 3rd base is going to take the economic lead. 180 gold per minute advantage. It is quite nice to see. Also, getting himself a wolf then in there. I assume, and I'm not entirely sure, that he's going for a wolf archer instead of a soldier archer composition. Not entirely sure what the exact reason for that would be. I assume for the movement speed of the wolves. I am not entirely sure what the damage difference would be between soldiers and wolves, but having the wolves is obviously a fast to produce unit, and also, of course, like I said, the ability to surround the army of Slammer is a nice addition. And if he surrounds the army of Slammer, obviously the archers are free to shoot whatever they want. He himself is also getting an advanced workshop. He's also getting himself a bird. He's going to try and scout and see what Slammer is doing. And as you will see, either with the bird or through experience at his gold mines, he's going to get a catapult drop in his base. Now, the advanced workshop from WeirdRat is just over halfway completed. Probably getting himself an airship to just try and drop into the base of Slammer. Is it going to be necessary though? As you can see, the house over here has been taken down. It is definitely going to be a more direct path to take down Slammer, as trying to move through the natural base into his or through the 3rd base into his natural. But yes, Slammer starting with some catapult drops so far. No kills just yet, just a lot of low health workers. Is he actually going to take any of them down? So far, no. 1 worker goes down, the 2nd worker is going to be dealt plenty of damage. All of them are just on low health, nothing really being taken down. I assume some of these are going to be destroyed though. As WeirdRat, however, does not care about those catapults. He just wants to get in to the base and deal all of the damage that he needs. He might want to focus on the catapult here. Catapult no longer can deal any damage because the units are way too close to actually shoot some of it down. It looks like the airship has been pushed back as well. Not a great position for Slammer to be in. It does manage to keep any further damage away, but it's not great. He needs to repair the airships and the catapults, and it would have been better if he could have kept up his harassment. Having that said, the advanced workshop from WeirdRat is going to push out a ballista. He's not going for an airship, because obviously he wants to focus down the airships with the catapult drops and give himself some more breathing room instead of dropping himself. Is getting himself a 4th base as well. His economy is already ahead of that of Slammer, but it will only pull further and further and further ahead. This bird, keeping an eye on this base over here as well, just as a wolf, will probably move it in at some point to see if Slammer is up to any more shenanigans. But this ballista pops out at the exact right time. Slammer going to drop some of the catapults over here, is however going to target the watchtower, which is very unfortunate for a player in the blue. And this is also going to be a little bit tricky. These catapults need to be taken down. This ballista will get one shot. This catapult did not get picked up. Please pick it up. Another ballista shot is happening, and now WeirdRat has an airship together with this ballista, making it a ballista ship. That is not something that Slammer wants to see, because he is picking it up. Is he going to be able to put it down and actually take down this airship? It feels like he should be able to cut it off. There is no way for Slammer to take it down. Is he actually going to be able to hit it? No! He just wants to keep an eye on that airship. It does leave some archers there, I assume, to spread them out a little bit. Take down the airship as soon as it wants to do anything further. WeirdRat with a very nice position on all of these archers, keeping tabs on all of the possible positions that the catapults could enter from. More and more damage being dealt to this airship. Archers, however, not on an attack move command. And this, in the meantime, still being watched by those 2 archers. And the ballista ship joining his 4th down here. Nothing too special going on. I would love to see this bird entering the base of Slammer, as there are more and more catapults being made, but nothing too insanely going on. A 4th base is going to be constructed for Slammer, as he is getting himself this first mech attack upgrade. WeirdRat getting himself an animal testing lab, getting himself some upgrades relatively shortly as well. Also getting himself a snake pit and a 3rd, not dragon den, a 3rd and 4th wolf den. So he's going for a complete beast switch. Getting himself a attack upgrade for his beast, getting himself a 2nd animal testing lab. Very nice thinking from a player in the red. Slammer getting himself some watchtowers, trying to... Ooh, excuse me for missing this, but I saw some red blobs on the minimap. It's a very nice drop from WeirdRat, letting these wolves probably die and take down all of the workers over here. But there is not that much that Slammer can do. Workers are surprisingly effective, don't let him fool you. But with some nice focus fire, he can definitely get his value worth out of these wolves. And as you saw, he managed to focus the low health workers and managed to take down the 6 additional workers in total. 2 catapults on the way to the base are going through the midline though. Maybe not the best way to send your dropship or your airships. Also, this one, very nice position, does manage to take down some workers. These catapults, though, are almost completely stuck. Some nice damage dealt. Few workers have been killed, but not enough just yet. Some more are going down. This ballista ship is hunting down this one again. And it does manage to take it down. 2 catapults and an airship are being completely destroyed. The snakes are catching up with this airship. This ballista ship can be moved up already because he has 2 ballista ships. It's even more dangerous for Slammer. He's probably going to manage to take down some of these workers. His 1 attack upgrade has finished, so just 2 attacks instead of 3 are going to be enough to kill the workers here, and just barely as well. As you can see, it deals 61 damage to the workers, which is just enough to 2-hit all of them, as they have 120 health, so it would deal 2 damage over their limit. But the catapults have been dealt with. There are still some ships and there are still some catapults ready, but there is no way for Slammer to actually use it, as WeirdRat is just going to attack straight into his face. The 1 attack upgrade has finished, the explosive shot upgrade has finished, airship gets taken down. This catapult is going to be taken down. The entire army of Slammer is a little bit spread out, and there's actually not that much for him. And there's some nice focus fire from WeirdRat here. Nice focus on the army. Snakes, archers, and wolves. Very nice army composition. There is no harassment going on for Slammer. He needs everything that he has at his 3rd to try and keep this from being destroyed completely. Having it said though, in the meantime, WeirdRat did manage to get himself a 5th base. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5th base. It is up and running. Economy, 700 gold a minute in his advantage. It will be a little bit less while some workers will start mining at their designated gold mines, but it's just absolutely disgusting. 400 gold a minute at this point. He's 1500 gold ahead. 200 behind in gold lost, so 1300 gold ahead in total. But it's not a great position to be in. Another wolf den is being constructed. Another base is being constructed. WeirdRat with 2 more wolf dens also being constructed, going for a total of 9 wolf dens. Getting double attack upgrades at the same time, is getting himself a fortress, so he's going to prepare himself to get into some dragons and give Slammer a cookie of his own dough, as we like to say. But WeirdRat now is just going to be managing to get himself some lovely bank, as he is on maximum supply, 150 versus Slammer 120. This is not looking good. More and more production is being finished. More and more production is coming in. Fortress, halfway done. 2 attack upgrades for WeirdRat. It's a nice surround from all sides. WeirdRat attacking on 3 areas at the same time. It's not a good position for Slammer. Catapults trying to attack every single direction. But which one is the right one? Actually, it seems like all of them are the right ones. Airship gets taken down for WeirdRat, and these catapults with the attack upgrade are being very valuable for a player in the blue. This is what WeirdRat could also have had in the previous game. Add some catapults in the mix and your army is so much more valuable. However, WeirdRat is getting himself ready for a drop. He's probably going to drop right on top of the catapults here. But Slammer is in an interesting position. You can definitely go ahead and try and take down this base. But yes, as you can see, a drop on top of the catapults. Catapults are pretty much nullified here. Not that the catapults are being focused that much, or actually going to be dealt that much damage, but it still is going to be plenty for now. 2 catapults are going down, the other 2 are going to stay alive. All of these workers! Don't do it! All of the workers here are going to be taken down. WeirdRat, don't let it slip out of your hands, man. This is just so painful to watch. Catapults once again roaming free. Airship going down, so no more drops for WeirdRat. This is not it. Watchtower is going to get completely demolished. He wants to focus these catapults. 3 attack upgrades have been finished. The 4th one is halfway completed. And does now finally start to take down these catapults. They cannot attack right now, or are at least not attacking right now. Both of them taken down. This is the point where WeirdRat can actually do something. This catapult is going to be taken down as well. Absolutely nothing that can be done to stop it, as the wolves and snakes are just so much faster. Everything gets cleaned up, but at what cost? Another airship with 2 catapults is on the way. Another workshop being constructed to get some more catapult production coming. But, as you can see, 3 dragon lairs are on the way. And this is going to be an interesting transition for a player in the red. Attack upgrade number 4 is almost being done. Dragons can greatly use those attack upgrades. They are very scary, very quickly. Another nice wall-off. I feel like it's a complete wall-off of Slammer here, so getting the backdoor attacks limited. He's doing a very good job at it. But it's going to be curious if it's going to be enough, because the upgrade advantage is very heavily in WeirdRat's favor. 4 attack upgrades versus 1 armor upgrade, the 5th attack upgrade on the way, the 1st attack upgrade on the way for Slammer. He might just lose it based on, well, not necessarily upgrades alone, but it's definitely not a nice thing to see when you are in these fights. Just 1 catapult for Slammer over here. In the meantime, peace and quiet for once at the bases of WeirdRat. As, however, his army over here, his push is being pushed back. 4 snakes retreating. Soldier managed to be taken down. These catapults, though, are going to be scouted. And I believe that he does manage to just see it right on time. Gets his ballista ship in. Doesn't move his snakes over enough, but there's also a ballista at this base, which is very nice to see. There's also a watchtower here. It doesn't necessarily do too much, but this airship is going to be taken down. These snakes and wolves can definitely kill those catapults faster. But they are going to go down either way. Slammer is choosing not to go into that direction. A very good choice. But look over here. Another push from a player in the red. An airship coming in, but yeah, there's no way. Slammer, as soon as he sees the dragons with the 4 attack upgrades, knows that he has absolutely nothing against those units and just instantly GG's out. And that leaves us with the following situation. It is a 1-1. WeirdRat versus Slammer. That means that if we look at the team standings, that the Fellowship, at least when it comes to game 1 of Group A and Group B, will take the lead, as the most points that either Team Holy or Team Mdirk are going to be able to take are 2, because a clean sweep is no longer possible. However, which one of these teams is going to take the advantageous position when it comes to the points tally? Is it going to be WeirdRat going to complete his reverse sweep on Slammer, or is Slammer going to once again hold his breath and take down WeirdRat for the 2-1 victory? Let's get into game 3 and see exactly what happens between these two. And welcome on the final game of the series. This is what we love to see. A series that goes all the way. A series that goes to 3 games. And just like the nerves of these players, we are playing on the map Ice Cold. And these players need to be ice cold, so it is only a fitting map to end this series on, because this is for all the beans. In the top right hand corner on Ice Cold, spawning with the blue pieces, it is Mr. WeirdRat. And on the other side of the map, on the bottom left with the red pieces, it is Slammer. So, I'm going to be curious what this game is going to be. Once again, it doesn't seem like any kind of cheese. So, WeirdRat is in an advantageous position if we look at how the games have gone so far. But this is a slightly different opening from Slammer. Obviously, he cannot completely wall himself in right now, because I feel like he does want a natural base, and this is just way too open to wall off completely. So I'm going to be curious where this is going to be. WeirdRat going with the barracks, probably going to start with the raider, Slammer with the wolf then, if he goes the exact same way as we have seen so far this tournament. We'll probably queue up multiple wolves, or maybe if he does not like to queue up all of the wolves, of course, he can just do them one by one. But yeah, there is number 2, and I assume that as soon as the gold is there, yeah, he's going to queue up number 3 as well. Very nice, and as we see, very standard opening from WeirdRat as well, just the 2 raiders queued up. So far, nothing special. All natural, all vanilla. Let's just see how this engagement is going to go. WeirdRat on an A move does notice the wolf, so knows that Slammer is going for a beast opening. Slammer getting a second wolf around the other side of the map. Which, you know, is interesting. He went to one side, diagonal, went to the other side and up, while WeirdRat's raider just thinks, why be difficult and just go straight through the middle. He sees the second wolf going to his natural as he started to construct his natural, and Slammer is not focusing on it. Might actually start to move a worker out relatively shortly, but with a raider over here, I don't think he feels secure enough to do so. This raider, though, definitely dealing with these wolves pretty well so far. 2 more wolves are on the way. Are they going to be able to take down the raider? So far, it doesn't seem like it. Slammer is building up too much of a bank. He definitely wants to just move out with one of these workers and get himself a natural base going. Or he has some other plans, of which I'm very curious what those plans are going to be. The natural, however, of our boy in the blue is going to be delayed slightly, which is probably a nice thing for Slammer to see, as he brings back 2 wolves to try and defend this worker to get himself his own natural base. You can already see the drop in minerals, so you know that there is a ghost natural over here, and he just started to place it down. Not the greatest position for Slammer. This worker is definitely going down. So he is going to need to pull another one. This raider is going to flash out. It's a very nice position for WeirdRat, who himself continuously produced more and more raiders. Which I agree with. It is very nice to see the raiders against the continuous production of wolves. It is a interesting decision to go for raiders instead of soldiers, but the same can be said for soldiers against raiders. I'm not entirely sure what would be the best to go for. I assume, if I'm correct, that soldiers are slightly cheaper, so economy-wise that might be the better decision. To amass some more soldiers versus amass wolves that you'll be fighting against. But of course the raiders, especially in the early game, have the flash ability and can definitely be used in multiple ways. Having that said though, there's still quite some pressure on WeirdRat's shoulders, as he did get himself a workshop and is going for a mill. So we are going to see some gyro crafts. While Slammer is getting himself a snake den, or snake pit, snake den, snake charmer. It's none of the above. Is getting himself a snake charmer as this raider missed his flash and is taken down by the wolves. We are going to get ourselves some gyro crafts. The first of the Pro League. Always nice to see some different tactics. And I'm going to be curious to see how much damage that is going to be able to do. One raider has managed to get into the base, managed to scout absolutely everything of Slammer. While he does not know what he is up against, he has no vision into the main base of WeirdRat. So that is quite tough. First gyrocraft is being produced. Also curious to see if he is going to try and stock up a few gyros, or if he's immediately going to send one across the map. As Slammer is getting himself a third, and yeah, I think that WeirdRat knows that Slammer is going for a third, but does not know the exact timing. The wolves are still outside of WeirdRat's natural. Definitely keeping WeirdRat at bay. There is not much that he can do, just making sure that he is not having a third up and running. But I think he already relatively knows. Gyro from WeirdRat immediately goes to the other side of the field. Will he be spotted by the bird though? No. Their vision paths will not even cross each other, so this is going to be very interesting. Raider attack, trying to take down the snakes, very well done. Trying to leave nothing to attack those gyros. Two more snakes are almost being popped out. One, yeah, those are the only two that are actually on the field. So this is going to be interesting. Also, these raiders not attacking this worker is also an interesting thing. Does manage to take it down. This was just 2 seconds away from completion, so that is not the best position for him to be in. Obviously, just send a worker in there, let it construct for 2 seconds, and the third base is up and running. But the small little push from the raiders did force Slammer to move his entire army down, even though this army cannot attack gyros. So these wolves are pretty useless here. As well as this gyro over here, just scouting everything. Watchtowers are being constructed, which is a nice thing to see, trying to counter it a little bit with just more than just snakes. But it feels like WeirdRat is taking a little bit of control here. The bird from Slammer did see everything in the bases now. Is also spotting the third base of WeirdRat being constructed here. But it's going to be curious if his wolves are going to be able to do anything, or if he actually conceded all of his map pressure and just handed it to the gyros of WeirdRat. Not a great move with the gyro over here, just almost being taken down completely by all of the snakes. Pretty much a free gyro at this point. Another gyro being pushed back, this one not a great position. And one gyro actually being taken down. Not the best movements, but also not the worst. Slammer is supply blocked, which is not nice to see. There is not even a house being constructed by him, so this is a very, very hefty supply block, which is not great. He definitely needs to start building houses as soon as possible, my man. Because this is not good. He is getting himself an animal testing lab, going to get himself some upgrades, which is a very nice bonus, but please just build some houses, my dude. You're still at 70 out of 70. WeirdRat trying to get himself a fourth base. Also getting himself another house, is trying to keep track of his production. Maybe just a little bit more. Slightly supply blocked, is going to get himself a second house, also completing a little bit of a SimCity over here. Protecting his gold mine just a little bit more, and also freeing some more supply up for him as he also waits for this castle to finish. And yeah, finally, Slammer, building some houses, notices that he is not in a great situation production-wise. Is probably kicking himself for not noticing it earlier. WeirdRat closing off this entire area with the barracks over there, not allowing Slammer to do anything through the back door. What I do miss, however, from WeirdRat is a forge. Because he is not getting any upgrades himself. He does manage to scout the 4th base from Slammer being constructed. He knows that he is far ahead, or actually is not that far ahead when it comes to the economy. Probably based on the amount of workers that he is fighting at. No, not even. That is very interesting. Maybe it is a little bit of the split of the workers. But yeah, this is also not the best position. Watchtower has been completed, I believe, if I'm correct, as the 4th base of WeirdRat is being hit on. That you need like 6 or 7 gyros to just completely ignore a watchtower, and with anything less than that, yeah, then it gets way more tricky. Does manage to get himself a free snake though. The gyros also having more movement speed. Can also hunt down these wolves. Does manage to target the more damaged wolf. Does take one down for free. But yeah, this watchtower needs to be reconstructed. The workers need to be moved back. But over here as well, another counterattack from Slammer. Nice harassment over here. Catapult from WeirdRat finally has entered his composition. Is going to be able to deal a little bit of damage. If he just moves it back a little further, he can actually attack with it. But that was some nice, relatively free damage for Slammer here. It feels like a tough position for both players to be in. Obviously, they do not want to take too much risk because it is a 1-1 situation. They want to be careful, they want to make calculated decisions. As we see Slammer getting himself a fortress again. Going to get himself some more dragons in the relative future. Has 1 attack upgrade. The 2nd attack upgrade is over halfway done. WeirdRat got himself a forge. His 1 armor upgrade is just over halfway done. But he is behind in upgrades. Also with the gyros, there is a ballista and it does have the explosive shots, so he does definitely need to be a little bit more careful with it. More production, however, being added to WeirdRat's facilities. He will be up with 4 barracks in total and 1 workshop. I would love to see the workshop continuously making some more and more catapults. But so far nothing is really happening on that front. Income-wise, so far it's relatively even. This bird is keeping tabs on at least some of the army. Might actually be started to be taken down by this archer. But yeah, it doesn't even move the bird over here. So that just gets taken down for free. Let's see what they know of each other. Slammer, very nice, trying to go and take the 5th over here. But yeah, there's not that much hidden from our player in the red. And WeirdRat does not know that a 5th has been constructed. Slammer, going to scout with his ground army, sees that none additional bases over here are being made. There's another ground army going to attack the other side of the field. These raiders are going to die relatively quickly. A very fast flash, a very fast response from WeirdRat. But these gyros are just going to be taken down by all of these snakes. There's absolutely nothing that WeirdRat is doing over on the right hand side. He is moving his entire ground army to the right hand side to try and take down the flank from Slammer on the right, but there's absolutely nothing remaining on the left. These houses are going to be attacked. I have a feeling that these catapults are not really going to be dealing any further damage. Slammer can send that army back in again, but after taking down one house over here, just expects the entire army to be moved back to the left again. Is he going to try and sandwich the army over here? He might actually think about doing it. Interesting take, trying to make 2 birds, as one of his birds obviously died. I feel like he just wants to get some more scouting in, but I feel like if he finished the fortress and also would have finished some dragon layers, which he has 2 of completed now, that he could also go ahead and scout with some dragons. He doesn't have any dragons so far. He has also maximum supply, so even if he wanted to make some dragons, they wouldn't start yet. Because he just needs to let some of his army die before. But it is a nice attack. It is a tough position for WeirdRat to be in. Some more catapults have entered the fray, some nice shots, taking down some wolves. All of these archers are not nice to see. Consciously eating knows exactly how that feels. A little callback to a few games before where consciously eating, I believe, was shooting down his own army with his catapults all the time. It's not the best feeling in the world. And WeirdRat now is going to take the initiative. Is it going to be enough? 2 airships of Slammer with nothing in them. Probably not the best for those airships. Might want to fill them with some units, drop them on top of the army of WeirdRat, some on top of the catapults. It's very nice though, trying to keep it a little bit in the middle, but there's a very nice concave from a player in the red. Is it going to be enough though? Catapults are very vulnerable. It's not the best position for those to be in. Soldiers are a little bit on the behind and not tanking any of the shots, just the pathfinding. Not really good here from WeirdRat, but the army seems like it is enough. It is too overwhelming. When it comes to the upgrades, 3 armor upgrades is absolutely devastating when it comes to these snakes, which, however, do have 3 attack upgrades, so it's still relatively equal, but the size of the army for WeirdRat is just so much bigger. Dragons have started production. Another dragon lair is on the way. 1 armor upgrade is almost close to completion for Slammer. And the 4th armor upgrade is on the way for WeirdRat. I have a feeling that WeirdRat, with this 1 counter move, as he obviously will notice the dragons, is going to be in a tricky position. It's a very tough call to make. Are you going to just run into the base and deal plenty of damage and risk the counter-offensive? Or are you actually going to try and just completely win it with this push? He is taking down some of the production. He is now focusing on the animal testing lab a little bit more as well. It's not upgrading anything, but it is nice to take the possibility of getting an upgrade away. I feel like he wants to focus down this castle a little bit more than the army, but yeah, not anymore. Just deal as much damage as you can. I assume that WeirdRat is going to want to make some ballistas, but I don't see any ballistas in production just yet. He does have 2 advanced workshops though, so he can produce plenty of those. But having that said, these archers are just not dying. 1 dragon goes down. 2 dragons go down. These what in the world? 4 armor on these archers being completed. Even though these dragons have 3 attack upgrades as well, they just don't die. WeirdRat doesn't even need ballistas. This is just absolutely disgusting. This is also not great. Trying to make a werewolf den in the den that is being destroyed, it might be a little bit of a misplacement. None of these workers are doing anything. This is just Slammer, I think, coming up with the fact that WeirdRat is probably going to take the victory. This army so far is being unstoppable. This attack upgrade is going to be taken down. This base is, well, it is running, and these watchtowers, which are 3 of them, which is insane, are taking down the attempt from WeirdRat, but WeirdRat over here is taking the central position, also with 3 watchtowers. The army of WeirdRat is taking a new position, going to take down the castle at the 3rd, I want to say 4th base, but technically it's like the 3rd or 4th base location. I would say that this is the 4th base location, generally speaking, but I don't know which number of base this actually is for Slammer. But yeah, this is going to be taken down. I have a feeling that this is just going to stay alive for now, but I highly doubt that's going to be for long. Because if you look at the upgrades, 4 armor upgrades completed, 1 attack upgrade completed. Another attack and armor upgrade are on the way versus the 3-1 versus of WeirdRat, or of Slammer, excuse me. Constant production has been going on. A workshop is being created right now, but I think it's just too little too late. It's 150 supply with a growing bank versus a 70 supply with a diminishing bank. Oh my Jesus Christ. Slammer has lost 5,000 additional gold, and yes, he too realizes as well as this army pops up over here at the 6th base location that there is no stopping WeirdRat, and that he is taking the 2-1 victory for his team and is taking the 2 points for Team Holy. So, with that said, GG well played to both of these players, and let's take a quick look at the scores before we end this video. WeirdRat, as we've seen, takes a 2-1 victory, which means that Team Holy gets 2 maps and a total of 2 points because it was not a clean sweep, and Team Mdirk still gets a 1 map gain, which gives them 1 point. At least they are on the scoreboard. Team Pro League got swept by the Fellowship. So, having that said, these are also all of the options that we could have had, and they already happened in the 2 games that we've seen so far. A 2-0 sweep and a 2-1 victory. It's a very nice spread over here at the beginning of week number 1. And I, for one, am very curious to see where this is going to end up going. So, next up is going to be match 2 of Group A again. So, it's once again the Fellowship versus Bro League. So let's see if the Bro League can catch back up to Mdirk or Holy, or maybe get a sweep on the Fellowship and get a shared first place. But once again, I have said enough. It was some amazing games, and I hope you enjoyed them too. If you liked them, of course, feel free to like the video, and if you do not want to miss any further Pro League 6 action, feel free to subscribe as well, and obviously check out all of the other casts of the other content creators of this Pro League tournament as well, because there are many more insights to be gained and many more views to be seen. Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff to catch up on and a lot of stuff to learn. But apart from that, that's all I have to say. So GG well played, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, have a great day, my dudes.